There's a glass ceiling and a hard floor when it comes to money. And I spent my entire 20s focused on the wrong one. See, frugality has a hard floor. You can only cut so much, save so much, DIY so much before you hit zero. But growth has a glass ceiling. And that ceiling is meant to be shattered. I didn't understand this when I started Black Ink Coffee. While I was duct taping equipment together to save $200, my biggest competitors were investing in tools that 10x'd their output. I thought I was being disciplined. I was actually being stupid. That $10,000 I saved in the first year probably cost me $100K in growth. Now that I'm 32 years old, if I could sit down with 25-year-old me, I'd tell him exactly what would have saved me years of unnecessary struggle, starting with the most expensive lie I believed about business. Let me tell you about the dumbest, smart decision I ever made. Year one of Black Ink Coffee, I'm selling wholesale coffee for $9 a pound. My competitors are raising prices, but I thought I was being smart by keeping mine low. I'm building customer loyalty, I told myself. You know what I was actually building? A prison. Year three, and I finally raised prices 30% because I'm bleeding money. You know what happened? I lost maybe 2 customers, and that's out of dozens and dozens. One customer actually said, "I was wondering when you were gonna raise prices. I wanted to throw up." This customer had been waiting for me to charge what I was worth for 3 years. Here's what nobody tells you. Customers don't respect cheap, they respect value. I watched a competitor launch with professional branding. Probably cost them $50K. You know what I did? Built mine myself on a free platform. They looked professional, I looked like a hobby. They attracted premium clients, I attracted price shoppers. They charged $15 a pound, I was stuck at $9. That $50K savings probably cost me $500K in lost sales that year. You can only cut costs to zero, but growth has no limit. Every dollar you don't invest in growth is costing you $10 in opportunity. But even understanding this about money, I was making an even bigger mistake. Do you want to know the most expensive sentence in business? It's, I'll just do it myself. Year 2 of Black Ink, I got an opportunity to meet this coffee industry veteran. This guy had built and sold 2 successful roasting companies. He offers to mentor me for free. You know what I said? Thanks, but I want to figure out myself. I turned down free mentorship because I thought struggling alone made my success more valid. That guy ended up mentoring one of my competitors. They went from startup to acquisition in 3 years. Meanwhile, I was still trying to reinvent wheels that had been perfected decades ago. I remember finally joining a mastermind group at 29. First meeting, this successful entrepreneur starts talking about how he almost quit the previous month, how he felt like a fraud. This guy was doing $5 million a year and felt the same way I did at $500K. That's when it hit me. Connection isn't weakness, it's leverage. Every person in your network is years of mistakes you don't have to make. The most successful people are the most connected people. Not because they're using others, but because someone has already solved every problem you're facing. Why spend months figuring out what someone can teach you in hours? The answer is ego. Pure, expensive ego. But even after learning about connections, I was still measuring all the wrong things. Let me tell you a story about 3 hours that I'll never get back from 2018. I was analyzing my Instagram metrics. I saw I had 6 followers, an average of 12 likes per post. That same day, my competitor made 10K from 3 phone calls. I was playing the wrong game entirely. Those 3 hours, analyzing my 6 followers, I could have called 10 potential wholesale clients. The week I spent perfecting my social media strategy, I could have visited 20 cafes in person. I'd look at Starbucks posting product photos and copy them. You know what happened? Nothing. Starbucks can post a picture of a cup and get 50,000 likes because they spent 40 years building the brand. Me posting the same thing, that's not marketing, that's delusion. Do you want to know what actually worked? Being human. One day I wrote about my actual struggle, the late nights, the doubt. I got more engagement than 6 months of product photos combined. People don't follow small businesses for products, they follow the stories. But I wasted 2 years posting like I was Folgers when I should have been posting like Parker. The metrics that actually mattered: how many uncomfortable conversations did I have? How many times did I ask for the sale? How many times did I put myself out there? 0, 0, and 0. While I was celebrating my 3.2 engagement rate, my competitor with 0 social media was banking real money in real relationships. I'm actually pretty sure that Maxwell House makes billions, but has less followers than me. But even worse than measuring the wrong thing was waiting for the perfect time. I've been about to expand into cafes for 3 years. Meanwhile, some 22-year-old kid just opened up a cafe in the next town over with 0 experience and just a TikTok account. He's killing it. This is the disease of your late 20s. You know enough to see all the ways something could fail, so you never start. When I was 25, starting Black Ink, I didn't know that profit margins in coffee were brutal, that competing with Starbucks was impossible, that 80% of food businesses fail year 1. So I just started. Now I know too much, and that knowledge is paralyzing me. That 22-year-old with the cafe, he doesn't have my knowledge, but he has something more valuable. He's not paralyzed by what could go wrong. The cafe expansion I've been planning for 3 years. It would have been profitable for 2 years by now if I just started messy. Your first version will suck anyway. Your perfect plan will change immediately. Stop preparing for a test that doesn't exist and start taking the test that does, the market. Here's the most expensive mistake I made in my entire 20s. I tried to be everyone except myself. You know when Black Ink finally took off? When I stopped trying to be Starbucks and started being the coffee company that slept in Walmart parking lots to keep the dream alive. When I stopped hiding behind corporate speak and told people about roasting at 2 a.m. because I couldn't sleep anyway. Your mess is your message. Your struggle is your story. Your weakness is your weapon. The thing you're most embarrassed about, that's probably your biggest competitive advantage. If I could go back and tell 25-year-old me one thing, invest in growth, not savings. Build relationships, not walls. Measure what matters, not what's comfortable. Start before you're ready. Be yourself, everyone else is taken. Comment below with one thing you've been doing the smart way that actually keeps you small. Call yourself out right now in public, because admission is the first step to change. Now stop saving pennies and start building empires. But first, a quote I want to share with you. The cost of being wrong is less than the cost of doing nothing.